local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome and good morning. Well, with the announcement that Democrat Julia Bozeman will not seek re-election, there's a lot of speculation on who will run and eventually win that New Hanover County State Senate seat. Today, we begin a series of interviews with candidates that have announced they'll run. Republican Thom Gooslby is a local attorney and joins us to talk about his bid for this 9th District State Senate seat. Thom, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be with you, Don.
Now, you announced your intentions to run before Senator Bozeman said she would not.
Long before.
Seek re-election.
Yes, in about June or July.
What went into that decision?
Well, I think New Hanover County is a conservative county. I think we are a place where people don't appreciate the growth in government they've seen, the amount of spending they've seen, the fact that Julia Bozeman helped preside over the largest tax increase in our state's history.
Did you feel she was vulnerable?
I felt she was extremely vulnerable. I felt like if a better race had been run the time before, she would have been taken out, and that she just was not the person that was reflective of our district. And I very much wanted to see that she was defeated. It's nice not to have to run against an incumbent, because there is an inherent power in any incumbent. They're already in office and people know their names. The fact that she stepped down, I think, helps make that race somewhat easier, but I know it will be a fight. I expect that. Were there
lifestyle issues involved, her legislative record, or
I think
other personal issues that dogged her? Were those?
I think the main thing that dogged her was her liberal policies, the things that she supported, and literally the idea that we can regulate people into riches, we can tax them into prosperity, and more government's going to solve our problems. That does not sell anymore with people, and I think we've seen the results of it as the melees in North Carolina continues, record high unemployment, all the things that we had that have not gotten better. In fact, they've gotten a whole lot worse. And in large part, I think, to bad government policies and bad politics. And, of course, the entire culture of corruption that's come out. I mean, we see politicians all around this area and North Carolina fleeing from indictments, from arrest, from, jail. What happened to Thomas Wright here? What's happening to R.C. Souls near? all these other kind of things are.
Now, are you portraying that as a partisan issue, or just how government is in general?
How government has been run, well, since 1898, but for a very brief period of time when the North Carolina House was taken back by Republicans for a small period of time, it has been Democrat rule. We had the 8 years of Martin, again with a Democrat legislature in toto, and we had that 4 years back before him with our first Republican governor. But that's it. Democrats have run it lock, stock, and barrel. So who is responsible? Well, clearly they are. They're the ones who've been in charge. They should take responsibility for that.
You're facing a Republican primary fight against Attorney Michael Lee, who ran against Julia Bozeman 2 years ago, came very close to winning. How confident are you about the primary?
Very confident. We did a poll a few weeks ago, after the beginning of the year, with a large tele-research firm, a large poll sample. We were leading 2-1.
In New Hanover County?
In New Hanover County, with likely voters, we were leading 2-1 in that race, and I'm running against somebody who's already been out there around a year before. So for me to have the kind of name ID that I have now and be leading in the polls, that 2-1 is comforting, but it's not slowing me down at all. We're continuing to push forward. I go to every group meeting where we've got folks together who are interested in knowing what's going on in the state legislature, want some positive leadership and folks to be positive on the job front against more spending and tax increases and all that. So I find myself very busy, and I will continue to be so.
How different are the two of you, Thom Gooslby, Michael Lee, both attorneys, both Republicans? How different are you politically?
Yeah, I don't work for a big law firm. I don't have a law firm that does any kind of lobbying, that engages in any of those. I am a small business practitioner. I have been. People have known
Are
me.
you indicating that Mr. Lee's firm is engaged in some kind of lobbying effort?
Well, I mean, they do government relations. I mean, I know they do that, and you know, I mean, people do things as attorneys to make a living and all. I've had my local practice here. Again, I don't work for a big law firm. I don't answer to partners. You know, I have my own small practice. Folks know me. I mean, for years I did my radio show with you, where we answered people's legal questions and helped folks out. I've done the same on television.
Do you
for
think
years.
you have do you think your political views are strongly different?
I'm not quite sure where he falls on all of the issues. I mean, I have spoken my views for years, and people know where I stand as a common sense conservative candidate. I mean, I've spoken those for years. I don't think there's any question where I fall. I don't have to. The nice thing about me going out and talking with people is rarely do I have folks address me with a question that they don't already know the answer to that I've already given before. And I don't hem and haw. I'm not for one thing and then not for it. I mean, that's a problem that people have with politicians. And I understand that. I have the same problem. Who wants somebody that's one way one day and one day the next, or going to have to study it, going to have to get back to you? I mean, I heard some of those debates in the last campaign. I'm not that way. I will tell you exactly where I stand.
When you first announced a while back, you said that you were committing $200,000 of your own money to your campaign. To me, that was an unusual comment when you were announcing to run for a political seat. What drove that?
Well, we had an incumbent at that time. I did not jump on the bandwagon after the fact. I mean, I came out before all of that. I didn't wait to make up my mind, and that's not the way I am. I make a decision, and I do it. With the $200,000, I wanted the incumbent at that time, Ms. Bozeman, to know I was serious. I was putting my own money behind it. And it's my savings. I mean, it's not just, oh, I have a lot of money to throw around. I believe in this race. I want to get up to Raleigh to fix it. I have two young daughters, one 2-year-old, one 5-month-old. I have a 17-year-old son. And I want this state to be a place that they can grow up and live in, have a good family, and not be bankrupt.
Were you also signaling maybe other Republicans that, like Michael Lee, that you had the resources to run and would use them, and maybe they wouldn't jump into the race?
Well, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, people need to know that you're serious. I mean, if they think, oh well, you know, he's just another person putting his name out. We've heard a lot of people come forward putting their names out, or speculation on that. But I think it makes a big difference when you commit your own resources, you know, to a race. And this is, again, I mean, I ask everybody to look at everybody's motivations, and I'm explaining mine. I don't work for a big law firm. I don't work for a big corporation. I'm not going up to Raleigh in order to do anything but represent the people. That's all I want to go up there for. Right. I mean, that's what I'm interested in. I want to fix this state. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired.
We're going to take a break, and we'll come right back. We're talking about money and campaign financing. In the last election, Bozeman-Lee, the combination, spent, I think, $1.2 million. It was the most expensive Senate race in North Carolina. We'll talk about that when we come back with our guest, Thom Gooslby. Stay with us.